Tralalelo tralala, or bombardiro crocodilo. Red or blue, sugar or no sugar. We're constantly forced to make a choice between two alternatives. How about we go for both today for a change? Two airdrops at the same time with one set of actions. Talk about efficiency. And it's faster than you can say tung 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 sahur. And if you aren't convinced yet, I'll tell you that the previous airdrop campaign of one of these two projects today gave us the fourth biggest crypto airdrop in history. Yeah, now I guess you might want to stick around. I have a confession to make. I was a sucker for the AI Italian brain rot. And as a former addict myself, I know it will take something special to release you from this captivity. I'm Stan, and in today's edition of Airdropscom Rehab, I'm bringing you a special airdrop remedy. Farm 1, get 2 airdrops. One of these is an education and engagement platform named Layer3, and the other one is a proper heavyweight, Arbitrum. Yes, Arbitrum is big now, but it almost got derailed over a huge controversy, the ghost of which still lingers on to this day. We'll get to that source a bit later. Now let's see how these two, Layer3 and Arbitrum, could work together for our benefit as airdrop hunters. Come on, if you haven't lived under a rock for the past few years, you'll certainly have heard of Arbitrum. But here's a refresher just in case. A couple of years back, Ethereum's congestion and high fees were choking user adoption. There were some ridiculous fees of $20, $30, $50 per transaction. Well, then came Arbitrum. Their optimistic roller began moving transactions off-chain while settling proofs on Ethereum, delivering faster, cheaper transactions without sacrificing security. Fast forward to more recent times and the upgrades we enjoy nowadays. Stylus for Rust and C++ smart contracts, Orbit sidechains, adaptive gas pricing, and fast withdrawals. All these turn Arbitrum into a modular, developer-friendly ecosystem that aims for long-term growth, and I very much enjoy it. But let's go back a bit. Some 3 years ago, I bridged my first tokens to Arbitrum. I didn't really think I would get any major reward from the platform itself. Yet, that's what happened on March 23rd, 2023. And it turned out to be quite big. The fourth biggest airdrop of all time, to be precise. Needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised. This year, Arbitrum may be gearing up for another airdrop wave, a different airdrop campaign, and given their previous performance, I'd say we better be prepared for it. The magic this time, my friends, may be happening through Layer3. What is that? Well, Layer3 is a Web3 educational and engagement platform that connects users with Web3 projects. That's done through interactive gamified tasks called quests. By completing these, we can discover and learn about different blockchain projects and also earn rewards. NFTs, experience points, airdrops. That's exactly what I'll be doing today live for you. So let's not waste another minute here and go and open this Layer3 thing and see it for ourselves. Let's go. So let's head over to the airdrops.com website, and there I'm going to search for Arbitrum in the search bar. Okay, go to the full review. I'm going to quickly scroll down all the way to the airdrop farming steps, and let's see. Number 1 here is to set up our wallet. Make sure you have an Ethereum wallet such as MetaMask, which I have here, configured with Arbitrum. It says here I'll need some Ethereum for gas fees, naturally. Okay. Now, currently I don't have any Ethereum in there, but I have USDC, which I believe would be sufficient to execute the transactions. All right, so let's move on to step number 2 now that we have set up our wallet. Go and visit Layer3. That's the Layer3 platform where we're actually going to be farming the airdrop. Let's go. All right. We have to create an account here. Sign in with the MetaMask wallet. Connecting it right now. Good. Right. Press connect again. And confirm the signature requests. Since we haven't had an account created before that, we're going to create a new one as I did now. This is the profile here that you can see. Currently, no experience, no points whatsoever. It's a freshly created account. I'm gonna drop a GM there and start my GM streak. It basically means how often, it basically signifies how regular you've been on the website, whether you've come back on a daily basis or skipped here and there. You can see the dashboard here, pretty nice visuals with all sorts of different quests, as you can tell, from different projects. So this is pretty much how we set up our profile, the brand new profile that we got on the Layer 3 platform. Now, before we head into the first quest, let's look at the end game for a second. What we aim to earn in terms of airdrop may be ARP tokens. So you will agree that it makes sense that we are familiar with the tokenomics first. Back in March 2023, Arbitrum launched ARP as a pure governance token with a 10 billion supply and up to 2% annual inflation, subject of course to DAO approval. 11.5% went to users via the humongous airdrop, and the Arbitrum DAO treasury itself received the largest allocation, 35.28%. There is currently no automatic burn or fee to token mechanism, and when it comes to governance decisions, including token mints or fee policy changes, they are made through on-chain voting. I'm very fond of that because it keeps the system's evolution in the hands of the token holders. So now that we're briefed in on the token, let's try to earn some. Now, let's head over to step number 3, and that is find Arbitrum specific quests. All right, let's go and open the page provided here. Waiting for it to load up. There we have it, Arbitrum 1. And we can see there are probably a dozen quests, even more. All right, I'm gonna go for first one, possibly. Let me check all of these out again. Yep, let's go for the espresso quest. That is brewing the future of Arbitrum. What espresso is about, we'll find out right now. Open the quest there. And here we'll go through a series of informational blogs and questions about the information that we have been able to receive. All right, I'll quickly skip through the steps here and through the questions so as to not make this too long. Okay. Take these steps, follow the Espresso Foundation, follow the Espresso Network, and so on X, which I'll be doing right now. As you can see, pretty straightforward. There, the Espresso Foundation has a new follower in the face of Airdrops.com. Also the Espresso Network. We're going to repost there. Got it. And it's time for the quiz. 4 questions. I'll quickly skip through these right now. Okay, let's move on. Here we are at the last question. Easy, all of the above. Let's go and mark that and complete the quest. There we have it. We can now claim the reward. But we'll claim it if we have enough Ethereums in our wallet. As I mentioned in the beginning, I thought USDC would be sufficient. Seems like no, we actually need proper ETH in the wallet. So I'm gonna do the quick swap there right now. Okay, now that I have the Ethereum required, we are going to try one last time to claim the reward that we have earned actually. I'm gonna go back to the dashboard. All right, refresh the same page, and there, now we have the opportunity to mint cubes to claim our reward. Okay, I'm going to confirm the transaction now. Fair enough, let's go. the credentials being minted, and there we have it. We have the reward locked in. Let's go. Now, if I decide to continue, I will continue with that quest. Okay, I'm going to open that same quest again, Brewing the Future with Espresso, because there are some more questions to be answered and some more cubes to be minted, of course, which will hopefully in the future translate into an airdrop. Okay, let's move on to the next set of questions. Okay, let's skip through these quickly. Now, it says here we need to acquire GLP or GLV on GMX. These are some tokens and once we have done it, once we have bought these, we'll be able to claim the next reward. Now let's go and quickly make the purchase here on the GMX platform, connecting the wallet and so on. Okay, we'll just buy any amount of GLPs that's worth $2.60. There we have it. A coffee's worth in GLP. Now let's go and confirm the transaction again. Okay, now that we have purchased GLP, when we go back to the page on layer 3, we can finally claim the reward again. There we can have the cubes minted. Again, confirm. Transactions being confirmed. There we go. So, congrats. Now we have completed the quest, Brewing the Future with Arbitrum. Congratulations, we have just received our first rewards on the Layer 3 network, which may possibly turn out to be an airdrop in the future with Arbitrum or with Layer 3. Moving to the perspectives, Arbitrum's roadmap emphasizes developer mindshare. The stylus upgrade opens up to Rust, C, and C++ devs. We've also got adaptive pricing and a decentralized sequencer, which in simpler terms translate as lower technical barriers, improved performance, and more freedom for developers. It's obvious to me that Arbitrum is clearly playing to win developer mindshare, and that's fair game. When I was doing my research to find out if going through these Layer 3 hoops and loops would be worth it, I was particularly impressed with one aspect: the team behind Arbitrum. Off-Chain Labs, which develops the project, was founded by 3 rather smart gentlemen coming from Princeton University. The founders, that's Professor and former US Deputy CTO Ed Felton, alongside cryptography researchers Stephen Goldfeder and Harry Kolodner, actually published an academic research paper in 2018. That was indeed the very inception of Arbitrum. The team has since grown, acquiring prismatic labs and recruiting top engineers, combining deep research with real-world execution. But how do these 3 gentlemen and company have all this money to give away? The 4th biggest airdrop campaign in history, now possibly another one over at Layer 3. Well, their funding has been robust. A $3.7 million seed round in 2019 led by Pantera Capital was the beginning, but the huge money came in 2021, $120 million. And that's how the pony turned into a unicorn valued at $1.2 billion. Anyways, since then, Arbitrum has had a solid financial runway with some money to throw at us in the form of airdrops. Which reminds me, I'll show you how to complete another more advanced quest for the airdrop on Layer 3 in just a minute. But first, let's take a brief look at the community of Arbitrum. So, in March 2023, with the massive airdrop, the engagement skyrocketed. With over 625,000 eligible addresses, everyone was over the moon, including myself. But a month later, there came trouble in paradise. The foundation came up with the AIP1 proposal to allocate a ridiculous amount of tokens to itself. Things got heated, major pushback by the community, with many threatening to scrap Arbitrum altogether if this went through. Well, the foundation eventually revised the proposal as they had their backs against the wall, almost worse than Winston Churchill during World War II. In a nutshell, I saw the community of Arbitrum was not playing around, and it only got stronger since then. Today, I can safely say it's one of the largest and most engaged communities in crypto. And a testament for it is that the project often rivals Ethereum's daily transactions and active addresses. Speaking of this comparison, we have to point out that competition to Arbitrum is fierce. Optimism, Polygon, Base, zk-Sync and Starknet each offer different trade-offs in performance, programming languages and incentives. In my view, Arbitrum's modular design and flexible governance give it an edge, but to maintain leadership, continuous future rollout and ecosystem partnerships will be critical. Alright, as I promised, now's the time for the other, more advanced quest. Let's get into it. So again, on the dashboard page of Layer 3 in the Arbitrum network section, we have some more quests to complete. But some of them, as you can see, are stake exclusive. What that means? Well, let's go and check out one. The quest is called Trending Now, Arbitrum Stylus. And it says we need to stake 500 L3 tokens to unlock it. All right, hitting that stake button. Currently, even if I wanted to stake L3 tokens, I couldn't because I have none, which means I need to acquire some. Let me go and grab some. In the trade section here, I'm opening it in a new tab. Okay, so it's L3 tokens on the Ethereum network. Be very careful again when it comes to the different chain. So I'm going to swap some USDC into L3 tokens. As you remember, the required number of tokens was 500. I'm gonna get a few extra just in case. So 507 tokens with some change. Let's confirm the transaction. These are worth 25 USDC. Very good. I'll be getting just a little over 500 tokens of this L3 just in case. Now we can choose a different route. As you can see, some of these are more costly. Some of them will grant us fewer or more L3 tokens. And of course, the time it would take to complete the transaction is dramatically different. Now, let's see. I want my full amount of L3s. So I'm gonna go with the first option, that's Glaciers. Boom, let's hit that. Okay, review route. There we have it. Let's confirm that bridge. Confirming the transaction again. Okay, it says transaction is processing and the estimated time is 22 minutes. I was silly enough to go for that option without paying attention to the time required. Anyways, I'll be back in 21 minutes, I guess. Okay, so 21 minutes later, now that I'm here again and the transaction is completed, we go and see what we can do with these tokens that we finally got, the L3 tokens, a little more than 500 of those. We go back to the staking page, refresh it, and now, after it's been refreshed, we can see we have an amount available of over 505 tokens. Here we can select one of these 5 options. I will currently go for the unlocked staking option, which will grant me 9.3% APY. But we're not here precisely for the APY. Let's hit that, switch to Ethereum, then approve the token. Again, go quickly through that phase. The transaction is being submitted. And there we have it. Staking is completed. We continue. You can see we have this stake already. And now that we've done it, now that we have staked the L3 token, 500 of those, we can move on to the actual quest. I told you it's a bit more advanced. This is why it takes a little more time, but also the rewards are expected to be bigger. Let's go on. Now here there is some more information about this time Arbitrum Stylus, this upgrade that I mentioned to you earlier. Let's go and skip that step. Opening the Arbitrum Stylus page. All right. Back to the quest. Click continue. And there we have it. The rewards are in there. First, in order to receive the rewards, we need to switch back to Arbitrum, mint the cube to claim it. All right, transaction again. And there we have it. The activation is completed, and we have done our second quest of the series here, the more advanced one, which also brings us more rewards. Completing such quests for the many projects listed here on Layer 3 will inevitably bring you various rewards and airdrops, not only from the projects themselves, such as Arbitrum, but also from Layer 3. It's a double treat that I'm not gonna miss out on. Now, each project has its strong points and its more questionable aspects, I would say. In the case of Arbitrum, I see its proven performance as a reliable dApp platform, its highly reputable founding team, and the continuous upgrades to be all major strengths. Yet, on the other hand, you've got tough competition in the Layer 2 space. Another, more technical risk that I found is that Arbitrum relies on a single or a handful of sequencers to process transactions, hence the centralization concerns. And lastly, since the ARP token serves only governance purposes with no other utility, the value there relies on the perceived governance power and the health of the ecosystem. For now, that doesn't concern me too much, but I'm still keeping a close eye on it. In conclusion, Arbitrum may not chase headlines, but it's built solid infrastructure and a loyal community too. I like that they don't go for some short-term hype, but for a quiet, long-term dominance with a significant market share as it stands. While those of us chasing quick gains may not be interested in that, developers seem to enjoy it, and that's precisely the target of Arbitrum. Yes, Layer 2 competition for liquidity, developers, and sticky users is merciless. I'm not going to neglect that. But while Arbitrum's edge might be its modular design and pace of execution, I'm convinced that they need to remain top of their game. Ultimately, if you believe in Ethereum's Layer 2 future, as I do, Arbitrum deserves a close look, either as a development platform or as part of your portfolio. Okay friends, this has been my 2-in-1 guide for today. We focused on Arbitrum because of their incredible history with airdrops, but do not sleep on the other opportunities that Layer 3 presents. Now, if you enjoyed this format, then make sure you let me know by actually liking this video and subscribing to the Airdrops.com channel. See you next time when I'm coming up with not a 2-in-1 airdrop, but a 3-in-1 airdrop, possibly. Come back to find out. Ciao ragazzi, Bombardiro Crocodilo, un fototo al...